Hello, and a very warm welcome from Spirituality, Health, and Inner Values Academy. For those who have joined us for the first time today, let me give a brief introduction about the organization. We are a group of psychiatrists, psychologists, counselors, therapists, homeopathic, Ayurvedic, and allopathic doctors working towards physical, mental, and spiritual health. I'm Pooja Kapoor. I'm a counselor and a therapist. I represent the organization at its Delhi branch. I'll be the speaker for today's topic, hypnosis. Please change the slide system. The first thing that comes to our mind when we hear the word hypnosis is a therapist hypnotizing his patient using a pendulum. Next slide, please. And a second thought immediately follows, wherein we imagine the therapist controlling the hypnotized person's mind completely and making him to do funny things like maybe acting like a baby or a vegetable seller or any comedian or anything like that. And if you are the one who likes movies and cinemas, you might even believe that hypnotherapists can make someone rob a bank or murder someone. Well, considering this, it's not hard to imagine why people have reservations about this form of treatment. And to be honest, I even once upon a time, even I had similar ideas about hypnosis. However, as I gained more knowledge about hypnotherapy, some of my misconceptions were cleared and it made me realize the true potential of this form of therapy. So, in today's session, we'll discuss and understand difference between counseling and hypnotherapy, or I should say, we'll understand how hypnotherapy is very useful and helpful tool for all the doctors, students, and professionals. We'll understand what is clinical hypnotherapy. We'll talk about types of hypnotherapy. We'll discuss some examples of spontaneous hypnosis that we experience in everyday life. We'll talk about the stages of hypnosis. We'll discuss what can hypnotherapy achieve, how does hypnotherapy work, history of hypnosis, research done in the field of hypnosis, and some common questions and doubts related to hypnosis. So let's begin with the difference between counseling and hypnotherapy. Even after hours of counseling, the exact root cause cannot be identified, whereas hypnosis identifies the root cause in just one session. Through counseling, a counselor cannot reach the depth of subconscious, but hypnosis does it quickly and easily. Counseling keeps the defense mechanism active, but hypnosis bypasses the defense mechanism. Then next is counseling is more of discussion, but hypnotherapy is action, that is identifying the root cause and modifying behavior by quick understanding. Counseling develops resistance in conscious mind. Hypnosis overcomes resistance of conscious mind. Counseling is about discussing and deciding. Hypnotherapy is seeing and deciding. Counseling is about general catharsis, but hypnotherapy is targeted catharsis. It's related to a specific issue. Then another is in hypnotherapy, most of the phobias and fears are removed instantly. And in counseling, we target to find the solution, whereas in hypnosis, a client is empowered to create solutions. And many long-term psychosomatic illnesses can be cured instantly with the help of hypnotherapy. So now let's understand What is clinical hypnotherapy? Sister, change the slide, please. The earlier one. Yes, this one. Next slide, please. The term hypnosis comes from the Greek word hypnos, meaning sleep. Hypnosis is a state of altered awareness in which access is available to subconscious mind. It's a state in which your mind becomes highly aware and highly suggestible. It's a state of deep relaxation in which the conscious mind is able to concentrate acutely on a specific thought, emotion, memory, or sensation while blocking all other distractions. Unlike sleep state, next slide please. Unlike the sleep state in which you are oblivious of what is happening around you, hypnotic state is one in which the conscious mind is awake and aware of what is going on, simultaneously providing access to the subconscious mind. Now, let us briefly understand about the types of hypnotherapy. Hypnotherapy is broadly classified under two heads. One is suggestion hypnotherapy, another is analytical hypnotherapy. So let's talk about suggestion hypnotherapy first. It involves the hypnotherapist giving an individual's conscious mind a series of suggestions. These suggestions can help an individual to find it easier to do something they want to do. For example, public speaking. Suggestion hypnotherapy is often used when there is no root cause that needs to be dealt with, or when there are time constraints, such as an individual wanting to deal with the fear of flying. So they have a limited time and they want to overcome that fear. In that case, suggestion hypnotherapy is very helpful. Suggestion hypnotherapy is often considered a short-term therapy compared with other type of therapy. And if changes occur, they can sow within the first few sessions only. Like if there is a person, if there's a client who's having a fear of flight, if he or she undergoes a session, that means if they can overcome a fear once, so that means they have overcome a fear of flying forever. It's not that every time they need a flight, they have to undergo a hypnotherapy session. Another one is analytical hypnotherapy. It is also called hypnoanalysis and can be effective in dealing with deeper issues and involves psychotherapy using hypnosis. Analytical hypnotherapy seeks to find the root cause of the problem and deal with the issue. For example, phobia may be masked using suggestion therapy. However, the root cause will still exist. Analytical hypnotherapy seeks to identify the root cause and deal with it. The root cause then becomes powerless. Let's understand this with the help of an example. A 20-year-old, well-built, healthy, smart boy has an irritational fear of rats. The fear makes him terrible at the sight of a mouse, and he often finds himself in embarrassing situations because of the fear. During hypnotherapy session, it was revealed that he was bitten by a rat when he was a toddler. The wound bled a lot and he had to take injections and medications after that. Thus, an incident that happened years back still affected him and the way he reacts to the situations. Several sessions were done to convince him that it was just a childhood experience and now he's strong enough to look after himself. It is not necessary that what happened years back will happen. Sorry. It is not necessary that what happened years back will happen again. Let's take one more example. A lady was not able to have a lasting relationship. She said she does not trust men. She had been in several short-term relationships, but that ended mainly because her partners found her too indulging and controlling. She would check their phones and emails without their permission. She would feel that she was not worthy and would maybe cheated by others. She had an intense fear of being betrayed or harmed. So during the sessions on digging deeper into her thought process, she revealed that her parents had a stressful marriage. Her father would physically harm her mother. He abandoned the family when she was 5 years old. She feels that all men, maybe like her father, would harm her in some way. During the session, she was made to understand that what happened with her mother need not necessarily happen with every woman. And in the deep state of relaxation, she was helped to visualize her future. Analytical hypnotherapy is very involving process and usually requires much more commitment than suggestion therapy. However, once the root cause has been identified and dealt with, the result can be life-changing. Whereas suggestion therapy manages a problem, analytical hypnotherapy aims to resolve it. Next slide, please. Now we'll discuss some of the examples of spontaneous hypnosis experience in everyday life. So you may be surprised to learn that we go in and out of hypnosis throughout the course of our regular day. So let's check. Have you ever been so absorbed in your work that you lost track of what was going on around you? And have you ever had an experience of losing yourself in a book or a movie or mobile to the point that you forgot about everything else? Have you ever lost yourself in your thoughts to the degree that you did not hear people calling your name, or perhaps you missed your exit when driving? All of these experiences are common examples of self-induced hypnosis. So now let's do a small experiment. All of you raise your hands. Okay, hands down. So now all those who raised their hands are in a stage of high suggestibility. So you might forget most of the part of today's discussion, but you'll remember that you raised your hand when I suggested you to do so. So that is that when somebody is giving you suggestions, your conscious mind is not blocking those suggestions. You are just accepting those suggestions. So children have an amazing ability to go in and out of hypnosis during the course of regular day. Most children naturally slip into hypnosis every time they become absorbed in mental and physical play. That's why you may repeatedly call them to dinner and they won't respond. They're not trying to ignore you. They actually don't hear you. They are so focused on what they are doing that they do not attend to anything else. So by definition, this state is called a hypnotic trance. Athletes, musicians, dancers, actors, and other performing artists may become so completely immersed in their practice or performance that it is obvious to an observer that nothing else exists to them at that moment. They are in a hypnotic trance. The hypnotic trance experience by athletes and performers is frequently called the zone or flow. When in hypnosis, athletes, artists, and performers reach peak performances level. Because of that, many professional sports team have a hypnotist on their as one of their staff members. So please note this point. This means anyone who wants to improve his or her performance in any area, be it studies or workplace or anything, must learn and practice hypnosis. So, otherwise, in the planned hypnotherapy session, it involves different stages like reframing the problem, if there is any problem, becoming relaxed and absorbed, means deeply engaged in the words or images presented by a hypnotherapist. Next is disassociating, that means letting go of critical thoughts, responding, complying with the hypnotherapist suggestions, then returning to the usual awareness and reflecting on the experience. Now, let's discuss what can hypnotherapy achieve, like what all we can do with the help of hypnotherapy. Hypnosis is used in variety of settings from emergency rooms to outpatient clinics. Clinical studies suggest that hypnosis may improve immune function, increase relaxation, decrease stress, ease pain and feeling of anxiety. It facilitates patients in understanding themselves or their problems from a neutral or relaxed state of mind. It helps in reducing stress and anxiety and create a sense of well-being. It helps in changing undesirable behaviors such as smoking, alcohol dependency, bedwetting, nail biting, teeth grinding, etc. Hypnosis is also used for pain management in cases of chronic diseases, cancers, childbirth, amputations, burns, etc. It is very helpful in weight reduction. It helps to overcome repressed memories, various types of fears and phobias, helps in sleep disorders, helps in managing grief and loss. It is useful in general healing and in surgeries where anesthesia cannot be used effectively. Hypnotherapy is very helpful. So, how does hypnotherapy work? Let's understand how it actually works. Our mind basically has two components known as conscious mind and the subconscious mind. Conscious mind is the one which analyzes, thinks, uses logic, that is basically processes every information that we take in. This is where we have our own unique rules of life. Interestingly, our subconscious mind stores all our life experiences which have been processed by our conscious mind. It has no judgment of its own. It also controls all the autonomic processes that you don't have to think about, like heart rate, blood pressure, tissue growth, cell regeneration, immune system, and so on. And it has been proved that the conscious mind constitutes for only 5 to 10% of our mind, whereas the balance 90 to 95% is subconscious mind. This makes our subconscious mind almost 9 times greater than our conscious mind, indicating that our habits and responses comes from the experience stored in subconscious mind. Our life operates as a combination of both of these minds, namely our conscious mind, that is our rules, and our subconscious mind, that is our experiences. When our rules and our experiences are in sync with each other, we are happy. But problem arises when there is a conflict between them. For example, if your conscious mind says that you are smart, intelligent, and have the best of qualifications, you will get a well-paid job and your life will be easy. Now, if your experience also supports this, life is great. But if it doesn't happen, an internal conflict occurs and you get disturbed. Depending on how intensely we perceive this conflict, we attract an emotional charges around that memory and store it as a negative or positive experience in our conscious mind. When it happens for the first time, we physically and psychologically respond to it based on what is appropriate at that point of time. We make a lot of associations with that particular event. So the next time a similar situation arises, that particular memories gets triggered and we subconsciously automatically start responding to it in the same way. When this occurs repeatedly, it becomes our pattern. So in future, even though the situation may have changed and you no longer need to react in that way, but still you end up doing the same things. This particular behavior is beyond your conscious control. This explains why we tend to overreact in certain situations. Let's try to understand this with the help of example. Suppose, as a child, if someone is deprived of food due to any reason, this might lead him to constantly crave for food. In future, even if the situation changes, he will still tend to overeat, eventually leading to obesity. Consciously, he may try to control his appetite, but it just keeps getting worse. This is because his craving comes from this feeling of deprivation experience in his childhood, which has been stored in his subconscious mind. And we have already discussed that subconscious mind is 9 times more powerful than the conscious mind. And subconscious mind has no logic of its own. So it just continues to behave in the same way. Let's discuss one more example. Say, if as a child, while playing, you happened to kick a street dog and that dog bites you, following which you had to take all those painful anti-rabies injections at that time. So after that, whenever you see a dog, the memory of that bite, the painful injections, it get triggered. You start sweating and you just want to run away from that place. You'll react the same way even with pet dogs, though you know they are safe and they won't bite you. So this kind of reaction comes because you have made an association of dog with the bite and the pain at the subconscious level. One interesting study regarding the conflict between the subconscious and conscious mind is that many people, they have fear of success. Yes, you heard it right. Many people, they have a fear of success. This is because these people believe that with success comes arrogance and selfishness. You even must have heard many people saying पैसा बहुत खराब चीज है or things like that. So at subconscious level, unknowingly, we accept these kind of statements. So these people, they believe that successful people have no time for their near and dearest one, and then gradually they are left alone or they lead an unhappy life. These kind of beliefs. But an important point to be noted here is that even they are not aware that this belief that they have at the conscious level, and therefore they don't realize that they have this kind of belief at the subconscious level. So at the conscious level, they try their best to achieve success, but subconsciously they themselves will sabotage their success because of this kind of belief. Like rich people are not nice, they are rude, or they don't have time for their years and years when, or they cannot enjoy their life, or they don't have good health. It can be anybody. So these conflicting beliefs lead to frustration and unhappiness. It is only through meditation, hypnosis, and similar methods that these people are able to dig into their subconscious mind and get solutions to their problems. We all have many such beliefs because they were required at some point of time. It's a part of our defense mechanism, which then becomes a part of our learning and growing up process. So during hypnosis, the therapist guides you into your own subconscious mind and helps you see your own thoughts more clearly. Once the cause is known, the therapist helps you disconnect from the belief and associations which you no longer require. The therapist also takes you to the first event which triggered this particular type of response. Like we have just discussed about that rat bite, or maybe a dog bite, or that girl who was abandoned by her father when she was 5 years old. So therapist takes you to the first event which triggered this particular type of response, and then therapists help you to understand it and neutralize the emotional charges around it, so that uh, so that it's no longer affecting you. And that is how hypnotherapy helps to resolve almost all the problems. So you go to the root cause, you neutralize it to the extent that that thought is powerless, or it does not affect your reactions. So that is how hypnotherapy helps you. So here, while discussing this hypnotherapy, conscious mind and subconscious mind, I would like to suggest to all the participants that if anyone behaves with you in an irrational manner, don't get hurt. Maybe that person himself or herself have some deep-rooted emotional wounds. And if someone has done something wrong in the past, forgive that person. Mm, it will be very, very beneficial for your mental, physical, and spiritual health. Now, when we have understood that people behave because of their subconscious mind, so we can just let go the things. And if you need help to forgive someone, then learn hypnotherapy. So now let's talk about the history of hypnosis. Persian, Chinese, Indian, Egyptian, Greek, and Roman culture used hypnosis in some form or other. Egyptian sleep temples almost 4,000 years ago was an early instance of hypnosis. This third one is very interesting. In 1822, Decamer. In 1834, British surgeon John Elliotson, and from 1840s to 1850s, Scottish surgeon James S.J. performed over 2,000 minor and 345 major operations using hypnosis for anesthesia. And in World War I and World War II and the Korean conflict, hypnotherapy was successfully used for pain relief on battlefield when morphine was not available. So now next we'll discuss about some of the research which is done in the field of hypnotherapy. Various studies have shown that hypnosis improves symptoms and quality of life of people suffering from irritable bowel syndromes. Studies have also shown that it's an effective mode of treatment for muscular face and jaw pains, headaches and migraines, hypertension, obesity, insomnia, anxiety, and pains related to cancer. Uh, this means hypnotherapy is very useful for all the doctors, be them a general physician, not necessarily the psychiatrist and the counselors need it. In fact, it's useful. It's a very useful tool for all the doctors. So patients who are prepared for labor Gynecologists are there attending today's session. So patients who are prepared for labor and delivery in hypnosis are more likely to absorb and benefit from information because they are in a relaxed, highly focused state. Hypnosis has been shown to be effective in helping people to stop smoking and in controlling overeating. US Olympic athletes use hypnosis to win. And it makes sense that hypnosis improves one's motivation. Hypnosis helps in improving one's performance. And now we'll talk about some of the doubts, queries, questions about hypnosis, which some of you might be having. So people say that you lose control and you are totally controlled by the therapist. You might reveal all your secrets. You might be made to do undesirable things like bark like a dog or kill someone or rob a bank. You can get stuck in hypnosis. You can be hypnotized even without your will, or only weak-minded people can be hypnotized. The subconscious mind records everything like a video. So there are many myths and mysteries surrounding this subject. That as an organization working towards holistic health, we thought it's our duty to clarify some of the most commonly known misconceptions about it. And to help you understand the true potential of hypnotherapy, we have designed an 8 days hypnotherapy training program in a very simple manner so that you may learn and practice different procedures and techniques related to hypnotherapy. We are planning to start our program from 23rd of August, that is the day after Raksha Bandhan, and we'll be teaching different levels of hypnotherapy. We'll be teaching you theory, and immediately after that, we'll do practice of whatever is being taught to you. So it's going to be an 8 days workshop. All those who are interested, and I think everyone must learn hypnotherapy. They can join the session, this workshop. We'll be teaching suggestibility, age regression, past life regression, future progression, inner child healing, and then removing fears and phobias. All this will be covered in your workshop of 8 days. So now that is all from my side. If any one of you have any query, you may please go ahead and ask. Thank you. If any one of you is having any query, अगर आप में से कोई भी कुछ पूछना चाहता है तो प्लीज पूछ सकता है. मैं कोशिश करूंगी आपके क्वेश्चंस का आंसर करने की. So I think there's something in the chat box. Thank you, Gurpreet sister.
Hello, sister. Sister, could you tell something about self-hypnosis?
I'm sorry?
Self-hypnosis. Is meditation a form of self-hypnosis?
No, not exactly, sister, but yes, you can say if you practice meditation to a great extent, you can motivate yourself. To a great extent, you can heal your wounds, you can motivate yourself. Any query about the workshop or anything else?
Actually, you explained so nicely that there are no queries.
Thanks
Yes,
for the kind words, sister. But I think I have just given an introduction about the workshop that we'll learn all this in detail.
yes. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, sister. Kumudini ma'am, I think we can stop recording.
Yes, sister.